Beautiful day here in Columbus, Ohio. A little windy, breezy, but otherwise beautiful. Great to see y'all, Buckeye Scoop family, Buckeye Nation in the chat cooking per usual. Do me a favor, hit that like button. If you have not subscribed, please subscribe. Hit that subscribe button. Then hit that bell notification so you get our videos to pop up on whatever device you are watching us on. Also, if you don't feel like watching and just want to listen, Apple people, go to Apple Podcasts, save us there. Non-Apple people like myself, Spreaker.com, hit us up there, save us. We would greatly appreciate it. Also, we're going to be talking about a couple of massive 5 stars that are seeming to be trending our way. Very excited about that. And then we're going to talk about our Buckeye basketball team. We are back in the big dance, y'all. It's official. We in it. And we're going to talk about the matchup and all of that. So listen, also, when you send those wonderful super chats, helps to go towards the pay it forward, which is our military and our first responders. We're going to look out for them because they always look out for us. I got Dev from the Buckeye Boys here. Y'all all know this brother. Nevada Buck is traveling. He is on his way to the crib, getting set up. We're expecting him to jump in shortly, but he's doing his Nevada, San Diego traveling expeditions. So he'll be here soon. But Dev, what's up, brother, man? How are you feeling on this Sunday?
Blessed, man. Blessed. Just chugging along, man. Glad we're having some updates come out of the Woody finally with some Buckeye football. Glad to have some good news and Buckeye basketball as well, man. It's good to be a Buckeye fan right now. Like I feel like, let me say, 10 years from now, we're going to look back at these moments in Ohio State football and be like, holy crap. All right, that was a pretty special time to be a Buckeye fan, rooting for football. And I don't know if 10 years we're going to talk about this basketball team, but at least we have a chance to
Right.
possibly talk about this basketball team 10 years from now. And that's all you ask for. Just give us a shot.
Hopefully so. I mean, so we're here now. It's funny on the scoop board, Devin. I don't know if you saw my thread I started. I was basically catching up with the Fire Jake Diebler people, and I did a poll to see the results. Last time I checked, it was like 48 to 10, 48 to keep him, 10 to fire him. And I was like, dang,
Yeah.
there's still 10 people who want to fire. It's like tough crowd. But I need to check the thread. But anyway, here we are. Year 2 with Diebler. Most Big Ten wins we've had in 4 years. Now we're in the tournament as an 8 seed. We're playing TCU. And let me pull up my screen so y'all can see the region we're in and the possibles that will play. So here it is. So, Dev, what's your thoughts? We got TCU. We're going to talk a little bit about them. Didn't know much about them, but I did a little bit of research. And then, of course, we play the winner of the 1 seed, Duke, the Dukies versus Siena. And then, of course, St. John's. That's a tough team. They're hot right now. Kansas is Kansas. Cal Baptist, Louisville, South Florida, Michigan State. We're familiar with them. North Dakota State, UCLA, UCF. What do you think about this East bracket and our chances of doing something in this bracket?
Well, I mean, obviously, this Buckeye team is looking a lot better than they did like before back when we were talking about what do we need to do to get in this tournament. So I kind of want to start there and talk about the way they've been playing. I mean, even that Michigan game, man, that was a close game right there. Could have went either way. TCU, don't know much about them, but I know the Buckeyes are playing very well, shooting good, playing good as a team. And they won the games they needed to win. They won one game in the Big Ten tournament, lost to one of the number one teams. I don't know about now. Is Michigan number one? Are they ranked number
They're at
one
1 seed.
team?
Yep.
Gotcha. And went down to the wire with them. So I don't know much about TCU, but based off of what I've seen from this Buckeye team down the stretch, they can play with anybody, it looks like. If Michigan is really that good, can we get past TCU? Absolutely, we can. Can we get past Duke? That's the question, man. That's the question right there. I think it would be
Yeah.
extremely tough to do that. But the Buckeyes, this Buckeye basketball team is definitely surprised some people, and it seems to have the capability to stick with anybody in the country, depending on what given night it is. You know how basketball is, man. I can't tell you how many teams, the teams I was on growing up, that we would beat them, and we had no business beating them. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, it just
Yeah.
basketball's that type of sport, man. So we're in the tournament. We're on the dance floor. We have an opportunity. I'm stoked about that. I'm going to stay right there. And then when we go to play TCU, if we win that game, I'll get excited that we have another opportunity to do this. It's been a minute for Buckeye Nation for us to even get in this tournament. So, just for me anyway, you're not going to find me dive. Yes, I want us to win. I want us to make a run in this tournament. I'd love to win the whole thing, but we're in it, man. That's a step towards getting better. And this is something we should, right, be expecting every single year is get on the dance floor and let's see what we can do.
Absolutely. I'm glad we're in. Glad we're back in. Look, TCU is a good team. They're 22-11, similar to our record, but they beat Florida earlier this year. They beat Wisconsin. They lost by 4 to Michigan. So they got some good wins. They played Michigan tough, and so played Kansas tough in overtime. I'm looking at their schedule. They're a solid team. Now, from what I'm hearing and what I'm seeing, they're a small ball team. They're not a big team. So they want to run and they want to basically match you up with your bigs and outrun you and outquick you. So we'll have to, we'll see that on film, and we have a small ball lineup. Now, have you seen enough of this team, Dev? Because I know we're both hoopers. You hoop, you were a guard. So what do you think about the small ball matchup versus TCU from a personnel standpoint from Ohio State?
I mean, I've watched several Buckeye games this year. I just don't dive into it like I should. But so my opinion, I'm not sure how much weight you want to put behind it. But I will say, I mean, that seems like an area, right, we might struggle with a little bit, just because I know we're not that deep from in the guard position anyway. Like, that's my first opinion. I would rather hear your opinion, because I know you watch a lot of Buckeye basketball here. You're stoked, about this situation. I know we got Tilly, our big man, stuff like that. But listen, the couple games I watched, I'm not going to say any names here, but I watched 2 of our guards playing, and I'm just like, bro, I don't, we're
Which
we're
ones?
weak on the depth.
Which ones?
Chapman and the white boy.
Cups.
What's his name? Cups. Yeah. But dude, I haven't watched Buckeye basketball like that. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I watched the second half of the Michigan game and stuff like that. So I don't want to try to speak on something that I ain't got a lot of experience or knowledge on, man. And in terms of watching them play.
Actually, hold on. Nevada is in the house.
Oh my
What's
gosh.
good, brother? Glad you made it.
24
24
inches of 24 inches of snow, man.
Yeah.
24 inches of snow.
He sent us the picture of like another snowstorm.
Yeah.
So glad you made it home safe. That's number one. So welcome, brother. Welcome. Now we're talking Buckeye basketball. I want you to dive in immediately. We're the 8 seed.
Are you
Go ahead,
okay? I know you were afraid of playing Michigan and stuff like that, and you were like, "Oh, Nevada, we're going to lose to Michigan, or it's going to be so bad." I'm like, "B, I tell you, I think we got a chance." And there's no chance. We'll never beat them. I mean, when they went up 1 point with 5 minutes to go, were you not jumping up and going, "Nevada is a genius"? There, B. Did you not say that?
No,
because
I felt like we would still have a close loss, unfortunately, and we did.
It was your negativity that pulled us down. That's why we lost them. If you'd have been a little more positive, maybe we would have won. You never know.
I should have clicked my heels together and closed my eyes.
So how do you guys feel about getting Duke? Duke's tough, right?
Well, I wanted to get your thoughts, because I know I saw Funky saying they're banged up and he feels like they're gettable. I haven't really watched Duke. I even missed the Duke Michigan game. So I don't know Duke like that. So I wanted to get your thoughts. Plus, you just came in, so I want to let you cook a little bit. What's your thoughts about? Go ahead and talk about Duke, but then double back to the TCU matchup. I'm hearing they like to play small ball, and that's what me and Dev were talking about.
Oh, well, I think we're going to beat TCU. I think we're going to beat TCU, and I think I mean, I was hoping for a 7 or 10 seed, so you don't get the one. I thought if we had that, we might be able to get to the Sweet 16. I'm not sure we can beat a 1 seed, but I'm telling you, if all the teams, if I was a 1 seed, the last team I'd want to be playing right now is Ohio State.
Yeah,
That is not who I want to be playing right now. I think it's going to be I'm calling it right now. We're going to play Duke in the second round, and it's going to be a barn burner. It's going to be one of those one bucket games, and it's anybody's coin flip. But yeah, I like our chances. I like the way we're playing. I thought Michigan looked really vulnerable against us. They were down against Wisconsin late, and then
yeah,
obviously they lose to Purdue. So that's another 1 seed that I don't think's all that. So I'm not sure how formidable the 1 seeds are. I think the tournament's wide open this year, and sure, why can't Ohio State get Duke? I think they can do it.
yeah. I think they got a chance. I mean, TCU beat the 1 seed Florida. I
Yeah.
mean, Arizona. I mean, they're really good, but I think everybody's gettable for sure. So I think we're going to beat TCU, but Duke's going to be tough. But at the same time, we're going to fight them. Like that's going to be a close game. I really believe that. And so yes, side note, I was very happy. I was a little busy today. I was coaching during the Big Ten title game, flag football. So I saw that Purdue beat Michigan on my way back home. So that's great just because their fans have been obnoxious, trying to with their fake excitement about basketball, trying to throw basketball in our face like we're salty. We're not. We don't care like that. Like, we just don't care like that. So that doesn't work. But anyway, so yeah. I don't know. You gonna say something, Dev? Thought you about to jump in.
No.
Oh, I thought I heard somebody's voice cutting in. But anyway,
No.
but no. I was just gonna say about this bracket. Honestly, you got some reactions like, "Oh no, we got Duke," but it's just like I don't know. I don't think any of these 1 seeds are untouchable, Nevada. Like you said, we come to play, we stay out of foul trouble. Maybe and look, Nevada, Brandon Knoll, is it Knoll or Noel? They kept saying Knoll on the broadcast. He played more minutes than I thought, but it'll be good to have him in there in the lineup in the rotation. Dev, you mentioned Chapman. I don't think he played against Michigan. If he did, it was very little. So I'm very curious to see what lineup and rotation we go with. But either way, I'm excited, fellas. I'm super excited. And also, real quick, I'm trying to catch you up, Nevada. I don't know if you saw that thread I started on Scoop where I was asking the Fire Diebler folks where they were with him now. You still want him fired or do you want to keep him? I don't know if you saw that thread, Nevada. Did you? I know you've been traveling.
I did see the thread, and it seemed like generally everybody was pretty pleased. I mean, they've kind of muted the fire Diebler stuff, and I'm sure it'll fire back up the first time we get blown out or something like that. But or if we lose in the first round, I'm sure it'll be back. But hey, look, that's the life of a college basketball coach, man. You're only as good as your last game, and Ohio State's got a chance. They got a chip in a chair and a chance in this tournament. And you got to play the 1 seeds at some point. Whether
Yeah,
it's in the Sweet 16 round or the
true.
Elite Eight or to get to the final, you're going to have to beat them. And why not? Let's get Duke early, and I think we're definitely playing our best basketball of the year. And beating TCU will propel us into that game as number 1 seed. Let's go get it done.
Real quick, Devin, I got a question for you. So here's the current poll 115 keep Diebler, 28 fire Diebler. So 80% are keeping him. That's definitely different from what it was back in 2024 when that thread was the thread I was actually coming off of was posted. But Dev, I know you said you haven't watched a ton of Buckeye basketball, but you've watched enough to see some guys that you might like. Who do you think, outside of Bruce Thornton, is the X factor to get this team to the Sweet 16?
Bro, I mean, I think you can reference John Mobley there as well, but
Yeah.
Amari Bynum is
Yes,
just
sir.
an absolute freaking
Love
I
that
think
kid.
that dude gonna be a baller, man. When I watch him, I just think that there's so much potential there. He has the athleticism, he has the size. I mean, shoot, dude can pull up and nail a three to kind of take over a ball game. Has he done that yet this year? Has he taken over a ball game yet
I'm going to
that you
say
know of?
yes. I think he has. It may not be like 28-8 or but he has taken over, in my opinion, not just with points, but setting the tone, attacking the basket,
Yeah,
good defense, hitting
yeah.
threes, like all of that. So yes, I'm going to say yes.
Yeah, I think he's got more in the tank, and we'll see, man. I think he can play with anybody in the country, dude. I think he's a special player.
Yeah,
So yeah,
I love Bynum. Y'all know I've been a big Bynum fan. That kid is a dog. Nevada. Before we move on to football stuff, who you think the X factor? You can't pick Bruce Thornton. Do you agree with Amari, or do you have somebody different?
I'm gonna go Devin Royal. I think he's
Okay.
got it. We need some big minutes. You need everybody to shoot well. You know what I'm saying? Like that. You need those guys. It's kind of like when the Indiana Pacers were playing last year and everybody was shooting the three ball. You know what
yeah,
I'm saying? Like you need everybody to be shooting the three ball. He's going to need to come in with some timely defense, hit some big threes, make some plays, be that energy guy for Ohio State, and maybe he's one of those unsung guys that comes in and saves them in a big game. But I'm going to go with Devin Royal.
All right. I'm gonna cheat, and I'm gonna go with a dual pick. 1A, 1B. Number 7, the center. I cannot pronounce his name. Mixed with Gabe Cups. This is why I say this, is because I feel like we've seen Devin Royal. We've seen Devin Royal score 25. We've seen him go off. We've seen Mobley go off. We've seen Bynum impact the game. Cups had his best game in his life the other day against Michigan. He scored 7 points. He hit a three, drove to the basket, and made a layup. I was shocked. And guess what? He played really good defense. He stayed in front of his man. He was hustling. He caused jump balls. Like, if he can do that, give us that off the bench, Cups. Play excellent defense, hustle, be opportunistic when it comes to scoring. If your name is called and the ball rotates for you to hit a three, hit the three. And then number 7, don't be soft, be physical, get rebounds, be a shot blocker, a rim protector, and use your IQ. He doesn't seem like the sharpest guy out there IQ wise, but every now and then he'll surprise you. If those two guys can play their best game of the year, to me that just adds instant depth already. Because this team needs bench help. They need depth and bench help. Then you add in Brandon Knoll, who has skill, but he needs to get his legs under him. You could tell he was a little sped up. I think that gives us even more of a chance to make an impact. Chapman is not a good defender, but he can shoot. Some days he's off, but he played very well against Indiana. We got a shot, y'all. But guys got to show up. And those guys, in my opinion, if they can make an impact just a little bit, I think that could potentially get us over the hump against a Duke if it's close. Any thoughts on that before we transition, Dev?
nah, man, it's always good to have, especially another big guy come in and give good minutes, good depth. And I've heard Nevada say multiple times, "Hey, in this tournament, if you got big guys that can show up and you're shooting the ball well, then you have a shot to win this thing." So yeah, I mean, what's his name? Ivan Jagovin.
Yeah,
Is that who you're talking
I'm
about?
gonna look it
Yeah,
up, man,
yeah.
because I don't know
Ivan
how to pronounce his
Jagovin.
name.
Ivan Jagovin. We're gonna go with that 7'2" guy. I mean, for sure. So if you have depth there and he can give our other big guys a rest and he can show up, man. 7'2". That's a tall individual who can, you know, do all big guy things and help control the game.
Yeah, it says Ivan uh Niagovin.
The
I'm
N is
looking at.
silent.
Yeah,
Jagovin.
is it though? Because I'm looking it up. I'm looking at how you pronounce it, and it looks like you're supposed to pronounce the N like Nia. Nyeh, as in go. Yeah, it looks like you pronounced the N. I don't know. Whatever. Nevada, you got anything?
Yeah, I'd go with silent N on that too, but I'd probably call it the wrong name the whole time. But yeah, your two big guys, you get your two 7-footers, they've got to, neutralize the big guys in the other teams. And that was the difference in that game against Michigan that we lost was their big useless guy who's all he is just tall, was
Yep.
just taller than Tilly and was just kind of he made Tilly look small, then he was just kind of
Yep.
dominating him on the boards, and that just can't happen. And hey, have a couple of big guys that you can roll in there, get big minutes, shoot the ball well, and be opportunistic and take roll the dice, take our chances.
Absolutely. All right. So much more on Buckeye basketball as we get ready for that game on Thursday. No time, unless something happened while we've been on air. No time has been announced yet, but we play on Thursday, and the tournament starts at noon. So we'll get you that time slot as soon as we find out. But want to transition to some recruiting news. Dev coming with some heat per usual with an update about a couple of linemen that Ohio State is looking to reel in. Dev, what you got, brother, on the two linemen? Who you starting with?
Yeah, man. Obviously, in Buckeye recruiting, I'm going to start to a little pre-story here, right? There seems to be areas that position groups that need to be recruited better each year, right? We all remember the O line. Well, the O line has seemed to pick up in recruiting, doing well. Well, can you guys answer me? When is the last time we have signed a top 100 defensive tackle? It's hard to answer that question because it's been too long for Ohio State Buckeyes. You got Jason Moore. He was a defensive end, switched to D tackle. Edric Houston, defensive end, switched to
Defensive
D
end.
tackle.
Yeah.
Tyleek Williams, I don't think he was a top 100
No.
defensive tackle. I'm not sure was the other guy this year going first round. Dude, I got too many names in my head. But
Caden
either
McDonald.
way, yeah, Caden McDonald,
He
he
wasn't.
might have been.
I
It
don't think
wasn't
he was
top
top 100.
100 either.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, so I mean, obviously, we've been telling you guys for quite some time now that there is a big focus on the defensive line in this 2027 class, and that is obvious with DJ Jacobs, the number one player, the number one defensive end out of Georgia. He does not come cheap, so obviously the Buckeyes are prepared to fork up the cash on the D7 guys. That this is a very special class, so special that he is going to be sticking around for this 2027 class through their careers at Ohio State. So we got DJ Jacobs on the defensive end. If you look at the defensive tackle position, man, we talked about Jalen Brewster. We talked about his dad's from Cincinnati, Buckeye fan. He's with Texas Tech. Their defensive line coach left, kind of opened the door a little bit. The Buckeyes are still in on that. So when I got this update, I'm like, maybe something has changed with that. No, it hasn't. But Marcus Fakatu and Casey Curry, both out of California, got a little Buckeye connection there. So if you remember, there was a defensive lineman that we recruited out of California. And once that door gets opened, it seems that Larry Johnson has been targeting that area a little bit more. And it all started with Epi Satanale. Once Epi signed there, and then we got Kari Wilder this year. And these guys, these elite defensive linemen, they want to go train with the best out in California. Well, the defensive line trainer out there who trained Epi, who trained Kari Wilder, also trains Casey Curry and Marcus Fakatu. And I am told that the Buckeyes lead for both of those guys. Marcus, 6'7", 295-pound player. You got Casey pulled up there, so talk about him first. 6'4", 315 pounds, number 38 player nationally, number 3 defensive lineman. He's visiting April 4th for the student appreciation. It's Oregon, Texas, and Ohio State. Larry Johnson wants Casey Curry very, very badly. And I was told that, you see the crystal ball prediction, the Texas right there, but I was told things have taken a turn towards the Buckeyes. The thing here is that's kind of holds me up based off of that is these visits. Is he coming to these visits? I don't think he's visited the Buckeyes yet. The next one, Marcus Fakatu, same, out of California, 6'7". I think he's the best defensive tackle in this class. up there with Jalen Brewster. They're expecting a late May official visit there. And again, Larry Johnson, with the information that I've been told, if you had to pick two defensive tackles that Larry was going after harder than all the other ones right now, it's those two guys, Marcus and Casey, and that connection through the trainer and through other various California connections. The Buckeyes are in a good spot, man. They've built a good relationship. They've been able to see what Larry Johnson has been able to do with these NFL development. I mean, people have to start waking up to that, man. We went through a little season of, is LJ washed up, right? And then look what he did. Defensive tackle, first round last year. Defensive tackle, first round this year. Jack and JT got Caden Curry drafted. Kenyatta Jackson coming up. So Larry Johnson's still pumping them out to the NFL. We are the most productive college in the NFL as far as defensive line production. That's Larry Johnson, man. And people are starting to take notice, and these recruits are starting to take notice. But more importantly, the Buckeyes are ready to pay for a defensive line. So here we go.
Good stuff. This is Casey Curry. We got it right now. Nevada, I wanted to ask you, what's your reaction to Dev's update? And then a couple of part question. What's your reaction? And then what are you hearing in regards to these players and just the uptick in NIL to this position, specifically? And then I'll add a third. Is Larry Johnson, is this man like a warlock? He's going, people keep thinking he's just going to, he was supposed to retire 10 years ago. You look at him on camera, you hear him, he still seems like he got another 5 years in him. I know that's a lot I just threw at you, but sorry, I know you can handle it.
Well, yeah, no, look, what I can tell you is that the Ohio State brand's really strong on the West Coast right now. And, it's always been good, but I don't know if it's ever been better than it is right now. And the type of inroads that Ohio State's made, it used to be that Southern California and to a lesser degree Oregon really had a lock on all the West Coast kids. But now what you're seeing is, those kids that are looking for a different type of college football experience, because if you're from Orange County or you're from wherever and you decide to go to Southern California, it's like you're staying home. It's like you're kind of a homie. And the kids that want to get away, the kids that want a big time college football experience. I mean, that's kind of the talk about, is that you go to Ohio State, you can play for a national championship. The facilities are bigger, the stadiums are bigger, the games are everything's just bigger at Ohio State, and that's how they were able to go out and get a kid like Kari Wilder, and get him lead from the beginning, bring him all the way home. Obviously you've got Julian. I mean, you've got a strong. We used to go years and never have any California kids on a roster. I remember when we got like Nikki Sualua or Jim Carsados, or you'd have like the one kid from there, and and you'd be really excited about having a California kid. But now it's nothing for Ohio State to go out there in terms of doing it. And as for Larry Johnson, yeah, he's timeless, and I think that's the great thing about being a college football coach is, in college football, old is not considered bad. Old is considered wise, and he is definitely a guy that's, his resume of guys that he's coached, guys that he's put in the league is really second to none. And when you go off a year, 2 years ago where you had all four guys drafted to the NFL, and this year, you'll have, two more guys drafted the NFL, including Cade McDonald's going to be another, first round pick. He's just having no trouble attracting players to Ohio State. And you get in with the right trainers, you get in with the right group, you get the right types of kids. Those kids that want to get away, that are a little bit more serious about football, that really want to get after it. That's the kid Larry Johnson's going after, and those are the type of kids we're going to be landing.
I love it. Absolutely love it. And yeah, I mean, listen, we want all, monies and resources to go to every position. But let's be honest, defensive line, especially them big boys, them big NFL boys on the line, you really want them guys. So I'm glad that we're allocating more attention financially to them and willing to, pay a little more for them, because it's the trenches, man. We know the trenches are important, period. And, the DJ Jacobs, man, it's funny, Dev. I don't forget about him, but he just don't be on the forefront of my mind. Every time
Yeah.
you mention him, Dev, I'm like, oh yeah, that's right, we got DJ Jacobs. Now I know Nevada, just like who was the recruit we were talking about? Oh, Blaine Bradford, right? They said he's not going to stick. He's going to flip to LSU. He's from down south. It's the same thing with DJ Jacobs, right, Dev? People are saying he's not going to stick. So it's the same thing. So anyway, I'm excited about it. Now, Dev, I know backstage you were saying beyond just defensive line recruitment, you wanted to talk about some current on the roster defensive line stuff, which I'm very excited to hear about because I know you always got the goods, man. What you got for that?
Well, can I hit a couple more recruiting things real fast?
Oh
You
yeah,
all right
my
with
bad.
that?
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
you're
Yeah, for
good.
sure.
I just want to talk about, because I hear people saying, man, this is Ohio State. We're in everybody's top list, yada, yada, yada. Well, the difference is now is normally when you get to this time of year, we don't see those big time defensive tackle prospects setting up official visits to Ohio State. This is about the time of the year when we realize, oh, we were just a name on a hat on the table or this or that. No, man, the Buckeyes, Larry Johnson, have went to visit these guys, and they in turn are reciprocating and officially visiting us as well. So, and also there's evidence out there to show that there has been a clear philosophical change at defensive line recruiting, and that piece of evidence is DJ Jacobs. An early commitment. How do you get early big time recruits to stick? Well, I'll let you guys figure that one out for yourself. Ohio State has changed their philosophy because you look at the defensive end position, man, Rashid Streets, Chris Whitehead, both top 10 edge prospects. Chris Whitehead's number 32 nationally. Rashid Streets out of North Carolina, number 63 nationally. They have both set up visits to Ohio State. And then
Nice.
Mekhi Brown, another 6'6 defensive end. I've interviewed him. I talked to him. He's officially visiting Ohio State as well. He's the number 48 player nationally. So, when these Buckeyes are having these conversations with these guys, they're obviously reciprocating a message that, hey, man, we know what it's going to take, and we're willing to do that. Or these guys wouldn't be showing up because the past 2 years they haven't showed up. We haven't got those visits from this number of high-end defensive line prospects. But yeah, man. Switching over. Wait, unless you guys got any response to that, the philosophical change on D-line recruiting. Nevada, you heard anything about that, man?
I haven't heard I haven't heard anything about any philosophical change. I just, I think for Ohio State, the biggest thing, we've talked about this many times, is just really about, how they evaluate the kids relative to other schools. You know what I'm saying, and where they're at, and because NIL just plays such a big role in anything that you're doing from a recruiting standpoint. Um, you only have finite dollars. So who are the players that you have recruiting your, that are high on your board as opposed to rivals or 24/7 or whatever it's going to be, and how much money do you have to spend? But I know that defensive line is a priority for Ohio State, and I know that they've allocated more money to defensive line this year than they ever have before. So it'll be interesting to see how that manifests itself in terms of recruiting results. But I know that Larry Johnson lobbied for that and got a larger allocation. So it'll be interesting to see how they spend that money.
Definitely. Real quick before we transition, I just want to reiterate, I think it's great, this connection Marcus Fakatu and Casey Curry has, with the Buckeye. What did you say was the Buckeye players trainer or another Buckeye recruits trainer? Buckeye players trainer.
They may or may not be training with some Buckeye.
Got you. No, that's dope. Either way, networking and connections, relationships with recruiting. I love it. But yeah, man. But yeah, let's. I want to hear about this. On the roster defensive lineman stuff.
Well, we talk about this weight thing, right? I texted about it. I know, so for instance, when we got John Walker, guys, where would you have placed him? Did you think he was another nose guard, right? He's going to be battling with Will Smith Jr. for the nose guard position, and who's the other guy? James coming in. Was it James Smith? The
James
Alabama?
Smith.
I'm all over the place with
Yeah.
names tonight. But anyway, that's kind of the update I want to talk about. It's nothing new here, but it's just the fact that James Smith, the Alabama defensive lineman transfer, his name keeps getting brought up. He came in at 300 pounds. He put on 14 pounds, and I just keep hearing the same thing. Had another conversation that he stands out, I mean, by a decent margin, at least in these drills, as far as how quick he can move, the power that he has, and his attitude and his aggression when he is playing. So you look at that. The other update is Will Smith Jr. Will Smith, Caden McDonald's backup last year, seems to have taken a big step forward. I was told that he is bigger than John Walker, the guy that was listed at 324 coming in. Will Smith has obviously put on some real good weight in his upper body, become stronger. We know he was playing the nose tackle at 295 pounds. They haven't updated his weight yet, but he's over 300 pounds at this point in time, I'm being told. So, man, you start to get a little bit more excited about the defensive tackle position, and Edric Houston as well has physically changed his body. But the last thing that I got excited about is I keep being told about the depth that we're going to have in the defensive end room. And that's not
Okay.
something that I would have guessed or thought about. And listen, I always say it. I know we're super early. I know it's been one spring practice. These are the observations. So this is what we're telling you guys. We'll see how it ends out. But as of right now, there seems to be some guys that are going to be pushing, more guys that are going to be pushing for some playing time at the defensive end position, more so at the defensive end position than the defensive tackle position. So Larry Johnson, man, keeps doing it and seems to be developing some of these guys that are going to come out of the woodworks and surprise us. The Caden Currys, the Taiwan Malones, those type of players. So don't sleep on those guys, man. The Will Smith Juniors, the Edric Houstons, those guys as well. We're talking about these transfers right now, but I'm hearing good things about Will Smith Jr. as well, about he's probably going to be a starter on this defensive line.
Hey, real quick, and I want to ask Nevada his thoughts on that. But Google has John Walker at 6'4", 324. According to all the information you got, is that close to being true?
No, I was so in winter workouts. I got a little bit of mixed information there, but as of right now, he's smaller than James Smith, who is 314 pounds.
Okay.
Just from the look test, he's smaller. They slimmed him down a lot. So I figured they were going to come in and he's be playing at 340 pounds, that nose tackle position. But nah, he's slimmed down. And the information I'm getting is James Smith is actually bigger than he is. So.
Okay. So Nevada, well, what's your response to what Dev said before I cut in? But also, where did you envision John Walker? I thought John Walker was I don't know, maybe I just was getting him confused. I thought he was more of a 3-tech guy, but I could be getting confused, Nevada.
Well, no, he is. I mean, he's definitely that guy. I mean, look, you're talking about, I mean, these guys are all big boys. James Smith is a big boy. John Walker's a big boy. Will Smith's a big boy.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You've got some, whether they're 315. It's amazing that we're talking about guys being like on the smaller side at 310. Do you know what I'm saying? It's so.
Yeah.
These are all really, really big guys, and I think that we do. I've been hearing good things about everybody on the defensive line. The name that I keep hearing, that's a familiar name, but somebody who kind of, I don't know if he went doghouse or whatever, but was Edric Houston. I think Edric Houston is posed for a big year for Ohio State, and a guy that obviously came in, was one of the highest ranked guys coming into that class. Coming out of Georgia. He had kind of an up and down moment, but when he flashed big time and made plays. I think he's going to be absolutely dominant this year on this defensive line. And when you start off with with Kenyatta and Edric, you've got a good formation right there. And when they do the different things with the stand up defensive ends, bringing pressure off the edge, and then having guys on the inside, I'm super excited about everything.
Yeah, me too. And I was waiting to hear this update from Dev with the defensive line. Now, Devin, I want to ask you something before we move on, and we'll get the super chats because they're starting to stack up, and there's some good ones on here that'll, spark some conversation. But I know you've been digging into James Smith, hearing about him. Have you heard any comparisons for him? And if not, do you have a comparison? And I'm asking because he's not, and I know nose tackles don't need to be 6'6". He's about 6'2", right? 6'1.5", 6'2", wide body. Who would you compare him to, or have you heard any comparisons to him as far as his game with his size?
No, I mean, I haven't heard any comparisons, and I haven't even thought about that yet. You know what I'm saying? I haven't dug into
Yeah.
that. I just know that a part of his game that people are a little bit worried about is the penalties that he had at Alabama, because you hear that aggression that we're talking about. You know, he hasn't been able to control that very much, and he let emotions obviously overrule when he would get penalties at Alabama. So Larry Johnson seems to be good at kind of controlling that and giving. I mean, I'm not going to go into the examples that we have seen where, while at Ohio State, players do good, and then when they leave, especially in the defensive line room, a couple times, players act a fool. But Larry Johnson seems to be good with doing that. So I just keep hearing about the power and the size. And that's the other thing with these two transfers we got in, man. You go to all the message boards, all the thing. You'll hear people referencing James Smith as a 1 tech or a 3 tech, and same with John Walker. Well, you know what that shows me is how versatile these guys are, man.
Absolutely.
Because
Yep.
yeah, James Smith, when he came in, I remember doing the show on him. I said, this dude can play 3 tech or 1 tech. And they added weight on him, right? So clearly they see that he was capable of doing that. So I'm just intrigued to see, right? Are we going to see Edric Houston and James Smith on the field at the same time? What are these combinations? And I think Matty P is going to have a lot to work with. And I think you're going to have 4 guys that can rotate in pretty frequently at the defensive tackle position. And that's not been the case these last couple years. Let's be honest. You know what I'm saying? It hasn't. We watched the struggles last year, beginning of the season, with our depth at the defensive tackle position. So, right, there's just some exciting talks coming out. We got different kind of players, have gotten heavier, and I like it. And it goes back to that me talking about somebody has a different vision, a little bit different vision on this defensive line now, because look what they did in the transfer portal and look what they're doing in recruiting with the defensive line. So Matty P, I think, is having some influence on what players to get on this roster and what players to recruit. And he is emphasizing this defensive line, and it seems to be working out so far.
No, that's great. And last thing I'll say, and we'll get on super chats, even about John Walker. And when I was saying that, hey, I thought he was coming in as a 3 tech. Like, to me, it's good news that, first of all, his weight surprised me. I don't know why I thought he would be lighter. And I know you said he's not 324, but he's still over 300. I just envision him as a strong side defensive end type of guy. But if he can play, and he may be able to do that in certain sets, like heavy against a power run, and still move down to 1 or 3 tech. I love it. We can hit you with so much versatility, like it's crazy. So, and we're not even talking about Kenyatta, you know what I mean, and freaking Zion Grady, and stuff like that. So, yeah, I'm excited about the updates and the depth potential of this defensive line. And you mentioned Jason Moore. Hopefully, he wakes up. He has the size. He looks the part. If he can add some Taiwan Malone type sauce, where guys kind of wrote him off, sky's the limit, man, for sure. So, Stilly Matt, thanks for the 199. Massive news on the scoop. Yeah, lots of good nuggets and posts on the scoop this weekend. Once again, if you have not joined BuckeyesScoop.com, do that. It's springtime. Great time to sign up. But look, we go hard. Great threads. I told y'all about the thread I started. That's still going strong. Good discussion. So wanted to encourage y'all to do that. Stilly Matt, once again, thanks for the 199. Billy D, Tech Mobo, Doppler B, and Dev. and this was sent before Nevada, so you got to add a Nevada name to Stilly. But yes, I'm rocking one of my favorite shirts. I wear it as much as I can without y'all looking at me like I'm a bum. But there you go. All right. Anything on that before we move to the next one, Dev?
Nope.
All right, Nevada.
No, just Doppler, man. I needed your Doppler for these flights for this 24
Whew.
inches. 24 inches tall. I showed you that picture. I was literally the only person on the freeway. Like you saw no tire tracks
Yes.
there.
None.
You know
That's
what I'm saying?
crazy.
Yeah, there was like no one, and that wasn't like out in that was in like Minneapolis. That wasn't in like the North Dakota or some like that was in like downtown Minneapolis. No one was on the road but Nevada, and I made it to the airport.
Yeah, that was crazy. I had to do a double take when you said nobody out there. Like, I mean, it was that sounds like a setup, like a movie, like
Yeah,
like some creature's about
Yeah.
to come out and get
No,
Nevada.
I'm
it was
gonna.
bad.
I wasn't gonna tell you guys this, but literally when Nevada sent me that picture, you know what I'm saying? Just earlier, I was sitting on a hammock by a spring, and it was. I mean, I was sweating. It was hot. I just
Yeah,
had
but
shorts on. You know what I'm
yeah, but
saying?
Dev, aren't you Mr. Plow? Aren't you like Mr. Plow? You go out there with the plow and like plow people out
Yeah.
there and
Oh
stuff like.
heck yeah. 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 I would do that for sure.
I needed Mr. Plow today, man. I'm telling you, that's what I needed.
Oh yeah. I'd have had you for sure. I got you.
That's funny. Leave it to Dev to always rub it in, his beautiful tropical weather while because I think Nevada, you talking about Doppler. Listen, it was 70s. It was in the 70s today. And it was beautiful, like I started the show with. But we are going to get, looks like wintry mix tomorrow. Okay. Chance of snow showers tomorrow. And it was like 75 today. Like, that's Ohio for y'all. It's ridiculous. And yes, I'm complaining about it. And I've been here all my life. I still
Spring
hate it.
break, man. It is spring
Bro,
break. I mean, I'm going to the beach
70%
on
chance of
Monday.
showers tomorrow.
That's wild.
70% chance of showers. So it is what it is, man. And I'm just hoping when the spring game comes around next month, because we're good. We're always good for a cold rain during the spring game, which is annoying. But anyway, it's going to be 29 on Tuesday. 29 will be the high on Tuesday here in Columbus, going from 75. Anyway, all right. It is what it is. We'll move on. All right, well, Buck, thanks for the $4.99. I was at the Big Ten tourney this week. The one thing that all Big Ten fans have in common is a hate for scum. It was amazing. Beat TCU. Yes, so true. Michigan fans, they're in their little delusional bubble. Nobody likes you, okay? Nobody does. And listen, I know people try, well, Ohio State fans, and we're a big fan base. OHIO could be annoying. That's fine. But I'm telling you, when I've talked to other fan bases in other places, like they all be like, yeah, man, they're arrogant, they're delusional. What have they really done, like, to justify how, yes, I agree. Shout out to Purdue. Thank you for knocking them off because they've been running their mouths way too much. Nevada.
Well, I think Funky Buck had a bunch of money on Michigan to win the Big Ten title too. So it's like,
Ooh.
so I think Funky is, I think Funky is, he's in mourning today after that. But yeah, that is the one thing. When you heard the big pop when Ohio State went ahead of Michigan, like the whole crowd like turned on it. Nobody likes Michigan. Nobody likes Michigan, and you'll find that wherever you go around the country, Michigan is universally hated.
Yeah. Anything, Dev?
I mean, my gut shot. I wanted to say something bad about Funky since he put money on Michigan. I wanted to say, be like, man, he deserves that, but I don't really feel that way.
Yeah, that sucks. I mean, just for the betting aspect of it, I know you guys go hard with that. It always sucks, because listen, when you're making a business decision, I mean, Michigan sucks. We hate them, but I mean, money was on them. I could see it, but hopefully you didn't get popped too bad, Funky. So, all right. Nevada Buck with the Carsatos and Sualua reference. Stilly Matt. Thanks for the $1.99. Like, Nevada, every time I hear Sualua, I hear Keith Jackson. Nikki Sualua. Like, the Keith Jackson voice. That's what I hear. Do you hear the same?
for sure, but I hear it with a B Moses accent. So I just heard it was like literally, but that was amazing. I was like thinking, I wonder if Keith Jackson could do it in a B Moses accent, and then it happened, and I was like, well, that's
That was
like the
it.
greatest thing. That was that was literally it. But yeah, no, Nikki was great. I want to say Michael Wiley might have been from California. Obviously, Chris
He was.
Olave was. We've had some great players from California, but not enough of them. Not enough. But I'm telling you, the pipeline's open now, and California's open for business for Ohio State, and business is good.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
mean, we
that,
got, Chris Henry, Phillip Bell, Kari Wilder, Epi.
yeah.
I'm sure there's some more players I'm not mentioning right now, but yeah, even in recruiting too, I love it. I love
Obviously,
seeing Larry
Julian
Johnson go.
saying, you know,
Yeah, golly.
yeah,
Thanks, Bebos.
DJ Stroud, yeah.
Lord.
No, I mean, but you're right. I had to think about it.
I've heard of those guys. I've heard of those
Yeah,
guys.
yeah. I think yeah.
Be with
I had to,
be with
let me
be with
Google them. Let me see what they look
those
like.
obscure references. Those obscure references. CJ Stroud, Julian Saint. I'm like, wow, B Moses pulling out the obscure ones.
Isn't it but that Julian Sang guy you brought up, he's projected to be probably the backup this year, wouldn't you say? Because I've heard
Yeah,
the Buckeyes have a 5-star Ohio
yeah,
quarterback, and Julian Sang can't run. So
yeah,
I don't
yeah,
know how much we like quarterbacks from California.
yeah, yeah. They're saying Davion St. Clair it should take his spot, but Ryan Day doesn't have the bizzalls to do it. That's what some of the fans are saying. So I mean, hey, I get it. I mean, Julian saying he's not going to be benched because of politics. Not because he's a Heisman, not because he's a Heisman finalist, but because of politics. That's why.
Yeah, for sure.
All right. Yeah. Or whatever. I'm not gonna go into it any further. We we have a small section of our fan base that is on meds and are just ridiculous. So anyway, all right. Mike Sturdy, thanks for the 5. Is it too soon to remind Michigan fans of their own rule? If you do not win your conference championship, any national championship does not count. That's right. Great reminder, Mike Sturdy. I forgot. Didn't they pound the table with that? Oh, your natty's tainted. It's a Mickey Mouse natty because you didn't win the Big Ten. We don't care. We ran through everybody by double digits, you morons, and won a legit natty with no questioning, no NCAA, no suspended coaches, no evidence being thrown at the bottom of the lake, no 2-year bowl ban requirement, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Shut up. Nevada, you got anything on that?
Well, we did play that ineligible player, Joey Velasquez, so maybe they'll come back and take it. No, I look. It's not even going to be an issue because Michigan ain't winning the national championship this year. So I'm calling that, or they're going to make an early exit. They are not playing well right now, and I think they're going to go down to Chinatown. So I think it's a moot point. But yes, you can't win. You didn't win you lost to Purdue. You didn't win the Big Ten championship, so everything doesn't count. But I think they're going to take themselves out of the tournament anyway, so it won't matter.
I agree, Dev.
I mean, this is why it's not just Ohio State and Michigan State fans that dislike that fan base. It's because they move the goalpost on everything and they say just psycho stuff like this. But when it pertains to them in this situation, if they win, they will just simply pick the goalpost up, move it, and then retract their statement. They don't really stand on business or stand on what they say because they'll just move things around, and it's annoying.
It's
Nothing
what they
new,
do.
though.
It's what they
It is.
do. But whatever. Look at who we got. We got a Mellow sighting. What's up, brother?
Hello.
It's been a minute, man. What's good, man? Thanks for the 10. DJ Jacobs isn't flipping. Kid is a monster. When does OSU ever lose a kid that they think that they have to land? I.e. JJ and CJ. What's good, Scoop fam and Buckeye Boys fam? Salute from Germany. Okay, you over in Germany. Did not know that. Great super chat. Great Buckeye brother in Mello. Dev, what's your response to Mello's comment?
The Buckeyes just offered a 6'7" defensive end from Germany, Mello. So I'm going to shoot you his name, see if you can't find him, so we can get him on the show and interview him. But yeah, no, I mean, he brings up a great point. We're in a lot of these recruitments till the end, but in these past cycles when the Buckeyes have got early commitments from guys, from elite players, they keep those commitments. I mean, this past cycle, dude, Brian Hartline left and we still signed Chris Henry Jr. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know what else you need to show how powerful Ohio State's brand is right now, but of course, anything can happen. But I feel very strongly that DJ Jacobs is not going anywhere, and he said as much. So,
Yeah. Nevada?
Yeah, first of all, Mello, where are you at in Germany? Obviously, I've told this story many times, but lived in Wiesbaden, Germany, as a Air Force brat, and so loved my time in Germany. Anybody who's been there loved it. And so, where are you at in Germany? How long are you there?
Yeah,
so I
leave that
know
in the chat. Yeah,
my,
or text Dev or something. Let us know. Because I was
I was just gonna
curious
say he's
too.
working there now. Yeah, he's working there.
Okay. Yeah, Nevada. I was curious too, which part of Germany, just out of curiosity, that he was in. So would love to hear that response if you're able to. Stilly Matt, thanks for the 199. When Dev talks about Florida weather, mute him. The only problem with that is, well, I was going to say for the people who are listening on Apple Podcasts and Spreaker, it would just be quiet unless I just muted him and acted like, oh, you know what? Something's wrong with Dev's mic. I'm going to talk about the offensive tackle. And then the podcast people will have no idea that I just rudely muted him for being a jerk once again. Nevada, you like that idea?
Well, I think the only thing that I can say in response is Dev lives in the land of 16-inch bugs. So it's like at least we don't have that, man. Some of
And
those
Gators.
Yeah, gators. Some of those bugs, man. Those things are big. So yeah, you get the
Yeah.
great humid weather, but you're gonna get carried away by some giant praying mantis is gonna jump on you during the thing or something like that, leap at you with a snake or something. So you got that going
Dude,
for you.
yeah, the bugs in Florida, they are intense. And now that you said that, I did catch a snake today while sitting on my tube in the spring, quite literally. So I saw my dog Tink mess around with something on the bank, looking at it, darting back and all that stuff. And I go over and the snake jumps in the water and I grabbed it and everybody flipped out. So that's Florida for you right there. So you do have that. But also, you guys have open invitations to come here and enjoy this weather with me whenever you would like. So I have a couple extra rooms in the casa. So come on over.
Do you
That's
do
why I bring it up.
do, do you do that catfish fishing where you do with your hand? You stick your hand in there and then it
Noodling,
grabs on your hand.
Noodling?
Yeah,
Yeah.
noodling.
yes.
Yeah, I want to do that. I want to do noodling.
I learned how to do that with snapping turtles, though. So
Oh,
that
I don't
yeah,
want. I don't
that
want
was
to.
not fun.
I don't
Yeah.
want. I don't want to do that.
Yeah,
You can't
but
put your fingers out. You put your fist in. That way, when they bite, they only tear the skin off, not your whole finger. Just next time you do it, Nevada, don't keep your hand flat.
No,
The
I want to bring
turtles are
B Moses with me because he's got longer arms, so you can put him in there, and then you pull him
oh
out, and
yeah.
I'll hit him with a stick, B. You know what I'm saying? That's it. You just pull him out.
so make me the target, the decoy.
You
Grab it,
got long
Nevada,
arms.
grab it,
You
grab
got
it.
long arms. You can pull him out of the back, man. It's like,
First of all, listen, I'm not getting in no water in Florida. Have y'all not seen the memes and the GIFs and the videos?
yeah,
And they
yeah, no, I
say
don't.
which bodies of water in Florida to stay away from? All of them. Like, nah. So a gator can just ride up on me real quick. Oh, what's that? The turtle? Or is
That's
that
the
the oh, it's
snake
a
I caught
snake. I
today.
see it. It's a snake. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
That looks exotic.
It's just a rat snake. There's nothing wild. It's not it wasn't even supposed to be in the water. Hey, I'm gonna try to pronounce these towns in Germany. You ready? This ought to be
Yeah.
fun.
Okay.
Mello is in Vilsek, Graf, and he did Westbaden base. Wiesbaden, maybe.
Wiesbaden Air Base. That's where I
Yeah,
was. I was at Wiesbaden. We
really.
actually we
Yeah.
were at Lindsay Air
Wow.
Station and Wiesbaden Air Base. And I think I've told you guys the story before, but my freshman year in high school, we won the European Championship in basketball, and we sent one of our players over to play in this tournament with some players from the United States. And he came back and was telling about the 6'9" point guard named Irvin Johnson that was really good, and we didn't believe him that there could be a 6'9" point guard, but I think he was telling the truth.
Yeah, clearly. And look at that. I don't know how
Yeah.
big Germany is, but I didn't know he was going to name the same place that you were in. That's crazy.
Yeah, Wiesbaden's a big, obviously big military base, and it's not as big as like Kaiserslautern or Ramstein or anything like that. But yeah, big military presence out there.
Nice, man. All right, good stuff. Stilly Matt, thanks for the 199. Funky Buck would never bet on Michigan. Apparently, he would, but again,
Funky Buck is a complete opportunist when it comes to betting. He will bet on anybody, and he bet on Big Blue. I'm pretty sure he bet. He might. I'm not 100% sure, but I'm pretty sure that's true. You know why I'm pretty sure it's true? I gotta tell you. I'll tell you a quick betting story that we'll get off. I'm looking. Funky goes, hey, I really think Michigan's win the Big Ten title. I think they shape up well, so you can bet them to win the tournament. So I go on my little thing and I'm like, oh, Michigan to win the tournament. I accidentally bet Michigan to win the NCAA tournament.
You said you accidentally did?
I did. I bet them to win because I thought I was betting them to win the Big Ten tournament, and I actually bet them to win the NCAA tournament.
And you can't reverse it.
And I can't reverse it. I can't buy out. It's an offshore, so I can't buy out of it. So literally, I have a ticket for Michigan to win the NCAA tournament, and I'm rooting for myself to lose. I literally am rooting for myself to lose. That's my true admission to you guys. I'm sorry, but that happened. I know.
That is insane. I feel bad for you.
I know.
Because they're not going to win it, so you're going to lose some money.
No, I'm going to lose money, but I'll be happy. But I'll be happy when they lose. It's worth it. It's an emotional hedge. That's what I keep telling myself.
Okay. All right. Well, listen, any last words before we bang out of here? Oh, yes. I was told, hold on, before we leave, let me just confirm this. My guy said we play at 7:10 p.m., which is crazy because that's usually the same time that we go on weeknights. But Thursday at 7:10 p.m. In Greenville, South Carolina, against TCU is the game time. I was thinking it's going to be like a noon or like a 2, but we got the 7:10. Any quick reactions to that, Dev?
No, like I said earlier, I'm just glad we're in the tournament. That's what I'm focused on, and I will be watching the games. They have my attention now. When we're playing for the big dog, I will be watching, and I want that, man. I want to get into it and, just pay closer attention to it. And it's a lot easier to do when we're winning basketball games like we do in football.
Very true. Nevada?
Yeah, no, I'm excited. I'm excited for Thursday, and we'll just adjust our time. Maybe we go after, maybe we go before. We'll figure it out. But or maybe we just don't go on that night and just go on Friday, or we'll figure it out. But yeah, excited about the game. Can't wait. It's been a minute since. Well, I would say it's been in the NCAA. Things you used to take for granted. But I'm excited to watch the game on Thursday night, and I'll definitely be tuning in.
Absolutely, same. So listen, great show as always. Great chat as always. We appreciate you, Buckeye Scoop family, Buckeye Nation. Like the video on your way out. Until next time, go Bucks and peace.